Hey everyone, welcome. On this channel, we're going to get into an advanced look at the story Disastrous Necromancer. Come with me as we unravel the journey of Lin Moyu, from his beginnings to him becoming a force to be reckoned with in a mysterious new world. If this story sounds like something you'll enjoy, please like, share, and comment. Your support helps us keep providing these in-depth looks into the world of Disastrous Necromancer. Now let's continue.
From Lin Moyu's voice, no emotion could be discerned. However, his words were extremely domineering, leaving no face for the Copper Lizard clan. It seemed as if he was not the one surrounded, but rather he was the one surrounding the Copper Lizard clan. From the Copper Lizard clan's army, a high-ranking god sovereign flew out and shouted angrily at Lin Moyu, "Human god sovereign, come out." The Copper Lizard clan members generally had bad tempers and were quick to resort to violence. They looked like lizards, with long, flat mouths filled with sharp fangs, appearing quite ferocious. Their bodies were covered in bronze scales, emitting a yellow glow, resembling gold. The Copper Lizard clan preferred using clubs as weapons, even their god sovereigns were no exception. As he spoke, he waved a huge club in his hand, showing a threatening posture. The one who came out to shout was a high-ranking god sovereign of the Copper Lizard clan, and his words were not polite at all, showing no regard for Lin Moyu. He could sense that the human god sovereign in the warship was only at the second stage of the god sovereign realm. As a high-ranking god sovereign, he felt no need to be polite to a second-stage god sovereign. However, Lin Moyu was even less polite. "I'll give you 3 seconds to choose. Either get out of the way or die." This statement not only angered the Copper Lizard clan's god sovereign but also made the soldiers laugh. They bared their teeth, their expressions even more ferocious. "Are all humans this arrogant?" the Copper Lizard clan's god sovereign roared. With his roar, several more god sovereigns flew out, ranging from the 3rd to the 6th stage. A total of 12 god sovereigns, along with an army of 100,000, surrounded Lin Moyu's warship. 3 seconds passed in the blink of an eye, and Lin Moyu's voice sounded again, "Your laughter is uglier than crying." The Copper Lizard clan indeed did not conform to human aesthetics. No matter what expression they had, in the eyes of humans, they were just ugly. In the starry sky, the undying flames flickered, and in an instant, the void changed, as if another world had descended. The bone hell appeared silently, covering millions of kilometers of the starry sky, enveloping all the Copper Lizard clan members. Lin Moyu's calm voice came out, 3 seconds are up." His words heralded the arrival of death. Countless hell fiends rushed out from the bone hell, transforming into reapers and pouncing on the Copper Lizard clan's army. The hellfire boiled, erupting like a volcano, falling like a meteor shower. The river of hellfire flowed in the bone hell, burning fiercely, and beneath the flames was a river of blood. "What is this? Damn it." "Aw." The Copper Lizard clan's army reacted quickly, immediately clashing with the hell fiends. The Copper Lizard clan's army instantly collapsed, torn apart by the hell fiends. For a moment, screams echoed through the starry sky, unending, as the hell fiends devoured the Copper Lizard clan like wolves and tigers. The Copper Lizard clan's proud bronze armor was no better than tofu in front of the hell fiends. The difference in strength was too great. The Copper Lizard clan soldiers were only at the God King level, and even when combined, they could barely contend with a God Sovereign. And each Hell Fiend was equivalent to a 7th-stage God Sovereign. Even the God Sovereigns of the Copper Lizard clan were struggling against the Hell Fiends. They were surrounded by a large number of Hell Fiends, in a precarious situation. The only one faring slightly better was the high-ranking God Sovereign. Therefore, Lin Moyu sent more Hell Fiends to deal with him. Living was impossible. It was just a matter of how long he could hold out. In Lin Moyu's eyes, the 100,000 Copper Lizard clan soldiers, along with the dozen god sovereigns, were just enough to fill the gaps in the bone hell's teeth. The warship set sail again, the outcome of this battle already determined, with no other possible result. Lin Moyu thought to himself, is the commotion too small? Can the Saint Sovereigns detect the anomaly here? The Rune Saint Sovereign used a special method, in cooperation with the Human Emperor Network, to monitor all movements inside and outside the human race. This method was likely left from ancient times, and many events in the Great World could not escape the Rune Saint Sovereign's notice. The Copper Lizard clan was not far from the human race, and Lin Moyu thought that it might not take long for the Rune Saint Sovereign to learn of his situation. The warship continued to move away, and in the blink of an eye, the battlefield was left far behind. Lin Moyu sat in the warship, leisurely drinking tea. His soul continued to study the drawing of the world-burning rune, gradually approaching perfection. Cheng Fei asked, if the Copper Lizard clan comes again, they might bring stronger forces. Lin Moyu said, no matter, This time was just a warning. I hope they know when to retreat and let us leave. If they keep blocking us, I don't mind playing in their star domain for a while. What Lin Moyu meant by playing was not a good thing. He spoke lightly, but Qing Fei and Shui Jilon could sense a hint of killing intent. The humans in the Great World were educated from a young age to remember past hatreds. Killing other races was ingrained in their bones and blood. Even a gentlewoman like Shui Jilon had no objection to Lin Moyu's actions. In the eyes of most people, these other races deserved to die. They had once killed countless humans, even eaten countless humans. This was a deep-seated hatred, unforgettable for generations, for millions of years. No matter how the humans retaliated, it was not excessive. An hour later, the bone hell disappeared from the starry sky. In the empty starry sky, nothing was left. No blood, no bones, not even a trace of debris. The bone hell had killed them and cleaned up the battlefield. The hell fiends grew stronger, and the river of hellfire became more powerful, flowing endlessly in the bone hell. Because Qing Fei and the others were present, Lin Moyu did not intend to stay here for long. He only wanted to return to the human race as soon as possible and take them back. But if the Copper Lizard clan kept blocking him, Lin Moyu did not mind leaving some memorable experiences for them. Lin Moyu reviewed the information he had on the Copper Lizard clan, judging their behavior patterns. He guessed that these guys would not let him go easily. The Copper Lizard clan was not very intelligent and had a very bad temper. They survived in the Great World mainly relying on their innate abilities. The Copper Lizard clan was born with considerable combat power, reaching the super god level upon adulthood. Most of the Copper Lizard clan could cultivate to the God King level. If they couldn't even reach the God King level, they were considered the lowest of the low in the Copper Lizard clan. The world was fair. The stronger the talent, the greater the limitations. The Copper Lizard clan had many God Kings but not many God Sovereigns, even fewer at the other shore realm, and currently, they had no Saint Sovereigns. In fact, many races that relied on innate abilities faced similar problems. They often started high but had low ceilings. Humans, on the other hand, started cultivating from birth and often took over 100 years to reach the super god level. It could be said that they had no talent at all. Yet, the humans had the highest ceiling, with the most Saint Sovereigns among all races. 10,000 years ago, some races captured many humans to study their bloodlines. But they did not gain any valuable insights. In Lin Moyu's view, the Copper Lizard clan was just a warrior race. In ancient times, they wouldn't even qualify as cannon fodder. For such a race, the ancient sages of the human race were already very generous to give them a region to live in peace. If it were another race, they might have been directly exterminated. Unfortunately, they did not cherish it and ultimately betrayed. The warship stopped again after a day. As Lin Moyu expected, the Copper Lizard clan did not know when to retreat. In their bones, fighting was the primary element. If it weren't for the human race being too powerful, the Copper Lizard clan would have attacked long ago. In fact, for nearly 100,000 years, the Copper Lizard clan had been continuously fighting with the surrounding small races. They lacked wisdom and were naturally belligerent. At the same time, the Copper Lizard clan harbored hatred for the human race. Back then, Xiao Zhanshan's counterattack nearly wiped them out. Lin Moyu no longer considered the possibility of the Copper Lizard clan letting him go. This possibility was less than 1 in 10,000. Just a day later, the Copper Lizard clan came again, full of killing intent. The previous team was just an appetizer. This time, not many came, only about 100, but they were all strong. There were more than 10 high-ranking God Sovereigns among them. 2 of them had reached the 9th stage of the God Sovereign realm. With the Copper Lizard clan's innate abilities, they could be considered peak God Sovereigns. However, in Lin Moyu's perception, they were still somewhat inferior to Zhu Qiwu of the past. Lin Moyu sighed and looked at Qing Fei and Shui Jilon. It's impolite not to reciprocate. After this battle, I plan to take a stroll in the Copper Lizard clan's territory. Would the 2 junior sisters like to accompany me? Shui Jilon said, we'll follow senior brother Lin's lead. Qing Fei said, it would be nice to see the scenery in the Copper Lizard clan's territory. The 2 readily agreed with Lin Moyu's idea. A surge of immense power came, and the God Sovereigns of the Copper Lizard clan swung their weapons, conjuring countless clubs in the starry sky, aiming to smash Lin Moyu and his warship to pieces. Lin Moyu smiled slightly and pointed lightly towards the starry sky. The Death Dragon Knight Legion moved out, with the Legion rulers at the forefront, swinging their war blades and shattering the club illusions. Then, the Death Dragon Knights charged madly, pouncing on the various God Sovereigns. Lin Moyu directly summoned 10 Death Dragon Knight legions, a million Death Dragon Knights, each with the combat power of a 7th stage God Sovereign, creating an overwhelming momentum. The Death Dragon Knights launched their charge, their speed instantly reaching the limit, far surpassing the speed of light, and directly killing the Copper Lizard Clan's God Sovereigns. The God Sovereigns of the Copper Lizard Clan were stunned. They were supposed to gang up on Lin Moyu, but in the blink of an eye, the situation reversed. They retreated frantically, but the Death Dragon Knights pursued relentlessly. In the charge, the Death Dragon Knights instantly surpassed the Copper Lizard Clan's God Sovereigns, surrounding them. The faces of the Copper Lizard Clan's God Sovereigns turned extremely ugly, and fear appeared in their eyes. How can there be so many puppets? Each one is equivalent to a high-ranking God Sovereign. How can we fight this? Suddenly, someone realized, I know who he is. It's him, it's Lin Moyu. At the mention of Lin Moyu's name, all the God Sovereigns' faces changed. They had certainly heard of this name, too familiar with it. In the past 100 years, if anyone in the human race was the most famous, it was Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's deeds had spread across all races, almost becoming a legend. Everyone knew Lin Moyu was very strong, invincible at the same level, and could even fight across levels. However, very few knew just how strong Lin Moyu was. The God Sovereigns of the Copper Lizard Clan naturally didn't know, but now they had some idea. Lin Moyu, only at the 2nd stage of the God Sovereign realm, could summon a million high-ranking God Sovereign puppets. How could they fight this? Screams echoed, and as soon as the battle began, some God Sovereigns were already dead. Those at the 3rd and 4th stages of the God Sovereign realm had no power to fight back against the Death Dragon Knights. Several peak God Sovereigns swung their clubs, smashing countless Death Dragon Knights. With each swing, hundreds of Death Dragon Knights were shattered. There was still a significant gap between the 7th and 9th stages of the God Sovereign realm. Even the Legion rulers couldn't withstand them. However, the shattered Death Dragon Knights revived in less than a second. The 9th stage God Sovereigns of the Copper Lizard Clan moved through the battlefield, rescuing their kin and pulling them behind. The high-ranking God Sovereigns of the Copper Lizard Clan pulled their companions behind them, forming a circle to resist Lin Moyu's Death Dragon Knights. The Legion rulers swung their war blades, killing their way in repeatedly, but were stubbornly blocked. The Copper Lizard Clan emitted a bronze glow, and the light intertwined, forming a giant golden ball in the starry sky. The God Sovereigns of the Copper Lizard Clan formed a battle formation, and a massive golden lizard warrior appeared in the void. Lin Moyu watched with a hint of disdain, summoning their ancestors. The golden lizard warrior, 10,000 meters tall, swung a giant club, sweeping the starry sky and instantly killing nearly 10,000 Death Dragon Knights. This golden lizard warrior's combat power was very close to the Othershore realm, almost reaching the half-step Othershore level. Lin Moyu flicked his finger, and the undying flames exploded in the starry sky, splitting into 5. The skeleton thrones appeared, and 5 skeleton kings quickly charged out. Also at the 9th stage of the God Sovereign realm, the Skeleton Kings were stronger than the Copper Lizard Clan. 5 bone swords swung simultaneously, slashing the gods. Sword light flashed, and the Golden Lizard Warrior was instantly engulfed by the sword slashes. The 10,000-meter-tall Skeleton Kings took 2 steps forward, and in an instant, thousands of sword strikes landed, annihilating the Golden Lizard Warrior on the spot. The battle formation was broken, and the faces of the Copper Lizard Clan's God Sovereigns changed drastically. They knew they had no chance of survival. They had completely underestimated Lin Moyu's combat power. The Bone Hell reappeared, and countless Hell Fiends rushed out, ready to feast. A violent aura surged, and a God Sovereign rushed out of the battle formation, preparing to self-destruct. Lin Moyu sneered disdainfully, no chance. He pointed, and red light enveloped the starry sky. White star level spell, Time Curse. Time accelerated 1,000-fold, and all damage erupted in a short time. The soul was attacked, and the self-destructing aura was instantly extinguished. In the next second, a 10 million meter large eye appeared in the starry sky. The eye gazed coldly and mercilessly, ready to launch a soul attack at any moment. The undead gaze might not be enough to kill, but it was excellent for interrupting self-destruction and controlling the battlefield. After doing all this, Lin Moyu stopped. He knew the battle was over from this moment. Unless the God Sovereigns had some heaven-defying treasures, they couldn't survive. I wonder if the Bone Hell can upgrade again after this play. Lin Moyu thought to himself, wondering if it would work, depending on the outcome of the play. In the Divine City, the Rune Saint Sovereign received the latest news. Little friend Lin has appeared in the Copper Lizard Clan's star domain. The Heavenly Saint Sovereign smiled. He finally escaped the space rift. Is anyone with him? The Rune Saint Sovereign shook his head, no more specific information. The Heavenly Saint Sovereign said, the Copper Lizard clan is not far away. Let old Shaw go and bring little friend Lin back. The Copper Lizard clan is different from the demon race. They have no Saint Sovereign, only one at the other shore realm. The Heavenly Saint Sovereign knew Lin Moyu's strength and was not worried about his safety. Another shore realm expert would find it hard to kill Lin Moyu and might even be killed by him. There was no need to send a large army, just sending the killing Saint Sovereign would be enough. As he spoke, the Heavenly Saint Sovereign had already sent a message to the killing Saint Sovereign, who quickly responded and took action. The Heavenly Saint Sovereign said, "All right, old Shaw is on his way." The Rune Saint Sovereign nodded. This space rift appeared suddenly and disappeared after a few days. Several people from the War God Temple entered and didn't come out. We can ask little friend Lin about the situation inside. No rush, we can ask slowly after he returns. Lin Moyu piloted the damaged warship, continuing to navigate through the starry sky. He changed direction, no longer heading towards the human star domain, but instead towards the nearest star system of the Copper Lizard clan. The star system of the Copper Lizard clan emitted a bronze glow. Even the stars were different from those in the human domain. Shui Jilon observed from afar, "It's really strange, how can there be bronze-colored stars?" Cheng Fei also found it odd, it is indeed peculiar. Their confusion was understandable, but Lin Moyu knew the reason clearly. He explained slowly, "It's not that the stars are strange, but that there is a formation outside the stars. The Copper Lizard clan is not skilled in formations, but there is one exception. This formation is inherited in their bloodline and is called the Copper Light Formation. This formation can collect the light of the stars and convert it into materials needed for the Copper Lizard clan's cultivation." Shui Jilon and Cheng Fei suddenly understood, no wonder. Cheng Fei added, "It seems every race has its own characteristics." Lin Moyu sighed, "Indeed, each race has its own characteristics. Unfortunately, they are not smart enough." He was referring to events from ancient times. At that time, their world's origin had already merged with the Great World, and they were all on the same boat as the Great World. The humans in the Great World were the captains and crew, while they were just passengers. As a result, these passengers thought about killing the captain and crew. They didn't understand that if the captain and crew died, the ship would sink, and they, the passengers, would also perish. So Lin Moyu said they were not smart enough. Of course, there were some smart ones, like the Butterfly Clan. But such smart races were too few, countable on one hand. As the warship approached the star system, Lin Moyu said softly, "They should be here." As his words fell, countless white lights suddenly lit up in the starry sky. Immediately, a star exploded, creating brilliant fireworks. Powerful auras rose, and the strong members of the Copper Lizard clan began to counterattack, but these counterattacks were quickly extinguished, having no effect. In front of the warship, the skeleton generals had already charged ahead. Lin Moyu had said, "Courtesy demands reciprocity." Since they wouldn't let him leave, he decided not to leave and to have some fun in their territory. By the time the warship truly entered the star system, the battle was already over. Not a single member of the Copper Lizard clan in this star system was left alive. When Lin Moyu made a move, it was to exterminate the entire clan, leaving no future troubles. Lin Moyu felt a slight force of karma, but it was minimal. Indeed, killing them all results in less karma. As long as I kill thoroughly enough, no karma will be generated. The copper light formation outside the star was extinguished, and the star's color returned to normal. Without the copper light formation, the star was still a star, with no difference. The warship skimmed past the resource planet. The Copper Lizard clan did not need many additional resources for cultivation. What they needed most was the material converted by the copper light formation. These resource planets were almost untouched, with abundant resources. Perhaps, these planets can all be taken back. In the human race's plan, they would take action against some small and medium-sized races one by one, avenging themselves and taking all their resources. According to the predictions of the Star Elder, to survive the Great World's nirvana, a vast amount of resources was needed. Lin Moyu had no objection to this. Even though he knew the Great World could not undergo nirvana, he might need these resources to repair the Great World runes. Resources were never too much, the more, the better. 1,000,000 skeleton generals and a Death Dragon Knight Legion left the star system, heading towards another nearby star system. Lin Moyu had deployed a total of 100 million skeleton generals and 100 Death Dragon Knight Legions. Each group of 1,000,000 skeleton generals and 1 Death Dragon Knight Legion was sent to attack different star systems of the Copper Lizard clan. While the Copper Lizard clan was still thinking about how to deal with Lin Moyu, he had already started his counterattack. In the coming days, the Copper Lizard clan would fall into a nightmare. In the center of the Copper Lizard clan's territory, there was an enormous star. Outside the star, the copper light formation continued to operate, gathering the star's power to form a material called copper light essence, which was needed for the Copper Lizard clan's cultivation. Outside the copper light formation, a palace shaped like a lizard floated in the starry sky. Angry roars emanated from the palace, turning into shockwaves that twisted space. The star was affected, spewing countless flames, as if it too was roaring in anger. The voice of the Copper Lizard King came from the Lizard Palace. Lin Moyu, I will kill you and grind you into dust. The previously stationary Lizard Palace began to fly, accelerating rapidly towards Lin Moyu's direction. After 2 failed attempts to intercept Lin Moyu, resulting in the loss of 100,000 troops and over 100 god sovereigns, the Copper Lizard King was furious. He never expected that instead of leaving, Lin Moyu had started a counterattack. One undead army after another invaded various star systems, leaving no survivors. In the past 2 days, he had received numerous reports that dozens of star systems had been destroyed, and billions of his people had died. His anger was beyond words, and the entire Copper Lizard clan was mobilized as if facing the greatest crisis. Even god sovereigns in seclusion had interrupted their cultivation to support various star systems. However, whether the support would be effective was still uncertain. After all, the number of god sovereigns in the Copper Lizard clan was limited, and facing the undead army felt like a drop in the bucket. Even if peak god sovereigns were deployed, if the numbers were insufficient, it would still be difficult to stop the disaster. The Copper Lizard King knew that only by killing Lin Moyu could he stop all this. Peak god sovereigns had died at Lin Moyu's hands, and now only he himself could deal with Lin Moyu. Although the Copper Lizard King was furious, he had not lost his reason. He did not forget to seek help from the Pegasus clan. He knew that if he failed to kill Lin Moyu, the Copper Lizard clan would suffer immense losses. At this moment, if he could get help from the Pegasus clan, it might reduce some of the losses. The warship flew through the starry sky, and at this moment, Lin Moyu was the only one on board. Cheng Fei, Shui Jilon, and some injured individuals had been left on a resource planet. An undead army protected them, ensuring their safety. Lin Moyu knew he had caused a big commotion, and the Copper Lizard King would likely come to deal with him personally. Facing an Other Shore Realm expert, Lin Moyu knew he had to give his all and might not be able to take care of Cheng Fei and the others. For safety's sake, he had them stay away from the battle. The warship deliberately moved away from the star system, choosing an empty void in the starry sky. Lin Moyu did not want the battle to destroy the star system, as he considered the resource planets within it to be human property and did not want them damaged. They should be here soon. Lin Moyu sat in the warship, leisurely drinking tea. He had been waiting for half a day, and by his calculations, the Copper Lizard King should arrive soon. Just as this thought crossed his mind, a powerful aura rose from the distance. The aura was like a blazing sun, impossible to look at directly. A lizard palace, entirely bronze-colored and 10,000 meters long, flew rapidly through the starry sky. The Copper Lizard King arrived, bringing his palace with him. Lin Moyu raised an eyebrow. He hadn't seen the Copper Lizard King yet, but he sensed a hint of danger from the palace. This entirely bronze palace exuded an ancient aura, heavy with the weight of ages. Lin Moyu immediately determined that this palace was from ancient times. A palace preserved from ancient times to the present made Lin Moyu wary. The ancient era was incredibly powerful, a brilliant time when beings at the Other Shore Realm were common, and not only humans but also various other races were strong. At that time, this palace might not have been much, but in the present, it was definitely a lethal weapon. However, Lin Moyu also noticed that many parts of the palace seemed to have been repaired. He immediately realized that this palace must have been on the battlefield and had experienced great battles. It had been damaged in those battles and later repaired. From the repair marks, it was clear that the repair methods were quite crude. As a result, the combat power of this palace compared to its prime was uncertain. At least in Lin Moyu's view, the threat level had significantly decreased. Since you're here, let's see if you can fight. Copper Lizard King, I hope you don't disappoint me. Lin Moyu spoke softly, slowly stood up, walked out of the warship, and put it away. Originally, he just wanted to leave, but then he turned back to kill. Now, he wanted to use the Copper Lizard King to test his strength. He wanted to see how strong he had become and whether he could fight against someone at the Other Shore Realm without using corpse explosion. Compared to the White Star in the Star Fire Clan, the Copper Lizard King would undoubtedly be stronger. The White Star had the power of the Other Shore Realm but was like a target, easily manipulated by him. The Copper Lizard King was different. He would fight back, flee if he couldn't win, and even fight desperately. This was a true Other Shore Realm opponent. The Lizard Palace stopped 10,000 kilometers away, and the Copper Lizard King flew out, looking at Lin Moyu with murderous intent. He was about 10 meters tall, taller than other Copper Lizard clan members, with a very burly physique. His body was covered in thick bronze scales, emitting a golden glow, indicating that these scales had incredible defense. The Copper Lizard King hadn't deliberately trained his body, but his physical strength was clearly superior to humans of the same realm. An Other Shore Realm Copper Lizard King should have a body comparable to a god sovereign. Lin Moyu felt that in terms of physical strength, the Copper Lizard King was not weaker than himself. You are Lin Moyu. The Copper Lizard King's voice was filled with anger and intense killing intent, enveloping Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu remained calm. Are you the Copper Lizard King? The Copper Lizard King said in a deep voice, for 100,000 years, my Copper Lizard clan has not waged war against your human race. Are you declaring war? Lin Moyu laughed. What's the point of asking now that it's done? Hatred doesn't fade with time, it only grows stronger. Moreover, do you have the strength to challenge my human race now? Back then, you were like dogs, lucky not to be wiped out. This time, you might not be so lucky. The Copper Lizard King laughed angrily, his voice growing colder. Perhaps we are not as strong as your human race, but killing you is enough. Lin Moyu laughed heartily. And after you kill me, aren't you afraid of human retaliation? But I can give you a way out. Kill me, then flee with your entire clan, escape to the outer regions, or seek refuge with the Demon Clan. Maybe then you can avoid disaster. The Copper Lizard King's face changed dramatically. He hadn't considered this. What would happen after killing Lin Moyu? What would they do? They couldn't withstand human retaliation. He now regretted not letting Lin Moyu go a few days ago. Perhaps things wouldn't have escalated to this point. Lin Moyu smiled, but it's too late to say this now. You only have two paths. One is to kill me and then flee with your entire clan. The other is to flee with your entire clan now, but how many can escape depends on your luck. What he called two paths was essentially one path. Lin Moyu had made it clear that he wouldn't spare the Copper Lizard clan, whether they killed him or not. The Copper Lizard King wasn't smart, but he wasn't that foolish. You seek death, the Copper Lizard King roared, raising his thick arm and swinging it at Lin Moyu. Behind him, a giant golden club flew out, smashing towards Lin Moyu with his movement. In the void, a giant club, tens of thousands of meters long, appeared, smashing down like a mountain. Where the club passed, the galaxy shattered, and space broke like tofu. Lin Moyu smiled slightly. Now that's more like it. He lifted his foot, and in an instant, he appeared in the starry sky 10,000 kilometers away. Where he had been, a cloud of mist flashed. The bone hell remained in place, shattered by the Copper Lizard King's club. As the bone hell shattered, it completed its mission. An invisible mark fell on the Copper Lizard King, and Lin Moyu completed the soul lock. Let's begin, Lin Moyu pointed, and the undying flames exploded in the starry sky, revealing 5 skeleton thrones. 5 skeleton kings rose together, and the thrones transformed into 5 bone swords. Original spell, Strong Soldiers. A peculiar aura rose from Lin Moyu, and at that moment, the attack power of the entire undead army increased significantly. The Copper Lizard King's pupils shrank, and he let out a strange cry, Original spell. Lin Moyu ignored him. 500 drops of the water of myriad colors flew out, and 5 million units of the power of belief burned fiercely, causing the Skeleton King's aura to surge. The Copper Lizard King cried out again, the water of myriad colors, the power of belief. How can you have so much water of myriad colors? He had never obtained the water of myriad colors, but he knew of its existence. Even among strong races, the water of myriad colors was extremely precious. Generally, Saint Sovereigns used only 3 to 5 drops at a time. Those at the Other Shore Realm used it for cultivation and were reluctant to use it in battle. But Lin Moyu used hundreds of drops without hesitation, treating the water of myriad colors as if it were nothing. Compared to the water of myriad colors, burning some power of belief was more acceptable to him. The Skeleton King's aura reached the half-step Other Shore level, and their rule power became extremely strong. In this state, even the Copper Lizard King had to take them seriously. God-slaying sword. The 5 Skeleton Kings moved in unison, swinging their swords. The Copper Lizard King's eyes narrowed, and a sense of danger surged through his soul. Rule power erupted, enveloping his entire body. The sword light exploded on him, and the Copper Lizard King let out a scream. His sturdy scales shattered under the sword light, and numerous wounds appeared on his body. However, Lin Moyu could see that these wounds were superficial and not serious. The Copper Lizard King had blocked the god-slaying sword, suffering only superficial wounds, but he looked quite miserable, covered in blood. "You can actually hurt me." The Copper Lizard King's voice was filled with disbelief. A second-stage god sovereign could actually injure him. If he hadn't experienced it himself, he wouldn't have believed it. The killing intent in his eyes grew stronger, and he was even more determined to kill Lin Moyu. If he didn't kill him now, he might never get another chance. He formed a peculiar seal with his hands, and rule power surged, enveloping the starry sky. The giant club shone with brilliant golden light, multiplying into 10, then 100, and in an instant, millions of identical clubs appeared in the starry sky. 10,000 clubs break. With a light shout, millions of clubs appeared around Lin Moyu, smashing towards him from all directions. The clubs sealed off the space, turning the entire area into a quagmire, making it difficult for Lin Moyu to move. Not only was the space sealed, but even his soul was locked. It seemed Lin Moyu had no escape. The wings of the undead spread out with a swish, instantly cutting off the soul lock. Then Lin Moyu took a step forward, disappearing into the starry sky. The clubs fell, hitting nothing but air. The space where Lin Moyu had been was smashed into a pulp, but there was no trace of him. The Copper Lizard King was stunned on the spot, unable to believe that Lin Moyu had evaded his attack. His soul lock and space seal were both easily broken. While he was in a daze, a gigantic fist appeared above his head. An ancient talisman punch, enhanced by 10 drops of the water of myriad colors and 100,000 units of the power of belief. At the same time, Lin Moyu began his second original spell, Power Gathering. At this moment, Lin Moyu's realm reached the 9th stage of the God Sovereign realm, with immense soul power injected into it. The ancient talisman punch broke through the boundary between the God Sovereign and the other shore, reaching its limit. The giant fist flew towards the Copper Lizard King, the ancient talisman on it shining brightly, firmly locking onto him. The offense and defense switched in an instant, and the Copper Lizard King's face changed dramatically. He reached out, and a golden club appeared in his hand, smashing towards the ancient talisman punch. Golden Lizard breaks the sky. The Copper Lizard King shone brilliantly, fully unleashing the power of the other shore realm. The starry sky shattered layer by layer, the momentum extremely terrifying. The power of rules surged madly, and the club instantly expanded 100-fold, 1,000-fold, like a galaxy falling. In comparison, the ancient talisman punch seemed insignificant, like an ant trying to shake a tree. Lin Moyu remained calm, the soul-slaying sword appearing above his head. He injected all his soul power into it, along with 100 drops of the water of myriad colors and 1,000,000 units of the power of belief. The soul-slaying sword emitted a hazy glow, flashing in the starry sky and disappearing in an instant. The soul-slaying sword struck first, faster and more fierce. Before the club could fall, the Copper Lizard King's soul was suddenly attacked. The soul-slaying sword tore through his soul defense like a hot knife through butter, piercing his soul. Awe! The Copper Lizard King let out an earth-shattering scream, his aura becoming extremely chaotic. The power of rules exploded in the starry sky like chaotic fireworks, beautiful yet rotten. The spell was interrupted, the power of the club greatly weakened. The ancient talisman punch, seemingly weak, pierced through the shadow of the club and landed heavily on the Copper Lizard King. Another scream, and the Copper Lizard King's scales shattered, flesh flying. The Copper Lizard King was blasted away by the ancient talisman punch, flying at the speed of light, disappearing millions of kilometers away in an instant. At this moment, countless invisible white mists emerged from above Lin Moyu's head, emitting a dragon's roar that only he could hear. Explosive luck technique. Luck transformed into a dragon. Lin Moyu elevated his luck to the extreme, and at the same time, an invisible force fell on the Copper Lizard King. Luck value 45, green. Lin Moyu snorted coldly, and the Copper Lizard King's luck quickly dropped, instantly falling to 20, turning into gray luck. The Copper Lizard King, injured both in soul and body, suddenly felt as if something was missing, but he couldn't tell what it was. Lin Moyu snapped his fingers and shouted lightly, "Explode." Boom. The Copper Lizard King seemed to hear an explosion, a sound from a mysterious world, with no discernible source. He felt as if he was being attacked by an invisible force, but he couldn't understand where it came from. His scales shattered silently, and large wounds appeared on his body, blood gushing out, staining the starry sky. Then came intense pain, originating from his soul. The Copper Lizard King realized that the damage to his body was actually from his soul. The explosion didn't affect his body but his soul. With his soul severely injured, the damage manifested on his body. He was terrified. What kind of method is this? How can it be so terrifying? Whether it was the soul-slaying sword or the ancient talisman punch, he could understand them. But this last attack was beyond his comprehension, too bizarre. Fear appeared in his heart, and terror flickered in his eyes as he looked at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu felt slightly disappointed. He had used all his methods, launching 3 rounds of attacks in perfect succession, yet he still couldn't kill the Copper Lizard King, only severely injuring him. The other shore realm is indeed hard to kill. His soul is protected by a treasure, offsetting most of the soul-slaying sword's attack. His scales are incredibly strong, also offsetting most of the ancient talisman punch's attack. Only the explosive luck technique, which can't be defended against, posed a significant threat to him. Unfortunately, my realm is not high enough. The explosive luck technique's damage depends on the difference in luck and realm between the two parties. The gap between our realms is too large, reducing the explosive luck technique's damage by at least half, if not more. Through this battle, Lin Moyu realized some shortcomings. The explosive luck technique was still slightly inferior to corpse explosion. Corpse explosion, as long as there were materials, could ignore the realm gap. Even if he was only at the super god level, as long as he had a corpse at the other shore realm and could lock onto it, he could blow up another at the other shore realm. But the explosive luck technique couldn't do that. Lin Moyu realized that his spells were truly heaven-defying, even surpassing the inheritance of ancient heavenly sovereigns. The Copper Lizard King suddenly turned and flew towards his palace. He wanted to escape. At this moment, he was severely injured, bleeding in the starry sky, his soul gravely wounded. Though not fatal, his combat power was less than 30% of his peak. Soul injuries were the most troublesome, especially severe ones. The Copper Lizard King didn't know if he could recover to his peak. He both hated and feared Lin Moyu. If Lin Moyu launched another round of attacks like before, he would surely die. As someone at the other shore realm, he cherished his life. So his first reaction was not to fight Lin Moyu to the death but to escape. As long as he could get into his palace, he would be safe. He was only 1,000,000 kilometers away from his palace, a distance that was just a step for him. Lin Moyu had anticipated this, trying to escape? You have no chance. Countless white lights flickered in the starry sky, and countless skeletons, white as jade, appeared. The number of skeletons made the Copper Lizard King's scalp tingle. Millions? Far more than that, at least over 1 billion. Looking around, the entire starry sky was filled with skeletons, completely covering the palace. All he could see were skeletons, nothing else. The undead army had completely surrounded the Copper Lizard King, layer upon layer. Lin Moyu's idea was simple: wear him down to death. And it wouldn't take long. Once his soul power recovered a bit, he could use the soul-slaying sword again. If one sword wasn't enough, then a few more would do. Trying to trap me? Impossible. The Copper Lizard King roared, swinging his club to forcefully create a path. The palace also activated, smashing through the skeletons and flying towards the Copper Lizard King. The palace was not only a flying treasure but also an extremely powerful combat treasure. In ancient times, it had once dominated the battlefield. The formations outside the palace glowed, shooting countless golden lightning bolts, turning itself into a sea of lightning. One Death Dragon Knight Legion after another appeared in the starry sky, launching fierce attacks on the palace, preventing it from reaching the Copper Lizard King. The Death Dragon Knights fought fearlessly, blocking the palace at all costs. Each strike from the Copper Lizard King could kill tens of thousands of skeleton generals. The skeleton generals continuously collapsed and quickly revived, not retreating a single step.